And welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about a new bike that has just been released, actually on pre-order right now. You can purchase it, and that is from Wired e-bikes. You've heard of course, the Wired Freedom, which has been a very popular bike. And then they came out with and then they had the Wired Cruiser, which is a step-through version like the Freedom, similar. And then they had the dual motor Predator. Now they've got another one out. And it's the Wired Warrior. And the Wired Warrior is, or sounds like at least, a beast of a bike. 72 volt. And I've been waiting for the day that somebody came out with a 72 volt. And I'm actually surprised, because with all the crackdown of laws that we're seeing a 72 volt, but we are. So it's the Wired Warrior 72 volt. They've got their own exclusive motor on this thing that's a 2000 watt rear geared hub motor, and the motor has a wattage peak of 5,000 watts. Sounds like they're using a 55 amp controller, and this bike is fast. We're talking speeds of 50 miles per hour. Now, I do not have the bike myself to do a ride on it or anything, but Citizen Cycles has a video up on the bike, and he did a really good job demonstrating what that bike has to offer and what it can do. I shouldn't say what it cannot, because I don't know if there's anything that bike can't do. So you might want to check that out. I will leave a link if you want to check out the Citizen Cycle video that he put up on the Wired Warrior. But the bike also, some other things that it has to offer is like batteries. We're talking a 20 amp and a 15 amp for 35 amp hour, 72 volt, and so he's got the prototype, and it was going, he just had a shade under 50 miles an hour, like 48 point something, but he said they aren't gonna increase the speed just a slight more and quiet the motor down a little bit. And the one he was doing the demo on was the step over, but he said there is going to also be a step through, which I do see on their site. I will leave a link in the description if you want to go check out directly Wired e-bikes on their page, the bike, the Wired Warrior. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this bike? That he did some tests on the hills too. They aren't massive hills like I've got here that I could test it on, but he did do some short, steep hills, and the bike seemed to go up no problem. He pulled some pallets with the bike. It's got a lot of power, 180 newton meters of torque. So yeah, it can lift the front wheel off the ground for sure. And there's adjustments that you can do to temper that speed a little bit there on takeoff and that, so it doesn't knock you on your arse or anything like that. And the bike does ship as a class 2, by the way, so making it legal like in that way. But I don't think anybody's going to buy that bike to just ride off-road. I think that bike Like, I don't know, maybe some people are, but I gotta think that majority of people are probably going to ride that on the road. I don't know if I'd want to crank it up to the 50 miles an hour, maybe just to test it, but I don't know if I'd be riding that speed all the time or anything like that. I think if you get a good 30 miles per hour, a good steady 30, that's going to be probably pretty good, or maybe occasionally 35. That's what I always think. Anywhere from the 20 to 35 miles an hour, I think is good speeds. The bike does have up to 9 assist levels. You can change that to 3, 5, 7 kind of thing. The bike weighs 145 pounds. I don't know the payload capacity. I did not see that. And what else can I tell you about this bike? Full suspension, I didn't mention that. It does have 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes with 203 millimeter rotors. Comes in a couple of different colors. Looks like there's a cameo. There's like a black, which is probably the color I would choose, although I really like the red. The red looked good too. I don't know, it'd be a toss-up. I probably wouldn't, for me personally, pick the cameo. I would pick the other choices. Like I say, I might pick the red one, since this bike here is black already. The chainring is 56T. I should mention that. What else? I guess that's pretty much it. And the price, I did not tell you the price. So the price is $25.99. I think you have to pay shipping though. And that's actually a pretty good price, I think. I think personally, I would rather have that than the Predator, the dual motor. If it can get me up the, up the hills and it hits 50 miles per hour, I mean, that's plenty good. They are also upgrading the Predator as well. So the one Predator that came out already is already being retired for an upgraded version. Sounds like they're going to put the motor that they're putting in the Warrior, they're going to have that 2,000 watt motor in the rear of the Predator that currently has a 1,500 watt motor, and they're putting the 1,500 watt motor in the front of the Predator, which at the moment is the 1,000 watt motor. And they're changing the controllers to 55 amp and a 45 amp. So, and they're talking about this dual motor now, the Predator having speeds of 60 miles per hour or more. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't think personally I need that kind of speed. But hey, if you do, I guess. All the more power to you. I don't think I'd really need that. I mean, I'd like the hill climbing power, but you don't need the speed. I don't need that much. Give me a good hill climbing bike and a bike that has top speed of about 45. I think that's, and the reason why I'm even saying 45 is because that gives you a little bit of buffer room, where you're not going past, or you're not always maxing out. pinning the throttle all the time. It's hard on the bike if you're constantly riding it hard, you know, full throttle. I know there's guys out there that do that, but I don't really want to abuse my bike, and I want my bike to last, you know, and work well for me. I don't want to abuse it and run the crap out of it, so to speak. Anyway, that's the Wired Warrior, and they are taking pre-orders right now, $25.99. I believe it's supposed to ship in May, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm shooting this video on Saturday, but you'll see it on Sunday. But yeah, check that out. It's the Wired Warrior. And geez, I don't know where they're going to go from that. You know, you got your 72 volts. Do we go 84? There are some bikes out there that are 84 volt, but even 96. Crazy stuff. I'm on my Lyric Graffiti X at the moment, and I really like this bike. I wouldn't want to trade this one for that, but there is one thing that is missing on this one I wish it had, and that's better hill climb. But apparently anybody getting a newer version, the later batches of this bike even, are going to get improvements there. But that's the one thing that's missing for me on this one. Speed-wise, fine. I mean, I very rarely get it up even 30 miles an hour, you know. If I'm doing a longer ride and I'm on the road, then yeah. But if you're just riding in the bike lane or on these slower streets, you don't need that kind of speed. But I like the fact that this bike can go 45 plus miles an hour, just because it's there if I ever do need. But like I say, I'm just disappointed a little bit in the hill climb. And when I say I'm disappointed in hill climb, I mean when the bike, if you're at the bottom of a hill, right at the base of the hill, and you go to climb it and it can't do it. That's disappointing. But if you're on flat ground, or where you are is pretty much flat, small hills, and hills that you're going to be able to tackle from, you know, take a little run at them, no problem. Yeah, so I like to have both, I guess, speed and power. But when I say speed, I don't need 60 miles an hour. I guess if you're going to go that kind of speed, then you may as well get yourself a motorcycle. And I know I have had people tell me you should just get a motorcycle, electric motorcycle, or a motorcycle. And I would want to get an electric one, and the price is extremely high. You know how you see e-bikes, the bicycles, how much they are, while the motorcycles are even more. So electric ones. Like if you're talking something like a Zero, you're talking in excess of 10 grand. And yeah, that's steep. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. I wanted to get out here and talk about this new bike. This is a pretty cool bike. And I've ridden the Wired Freedom before. And that bike is kind of beefy. Oh, I didn't mention, I don't think, the tires are 26x4. It would be cool to have a 20-inch version, 20-inch tire version of that bike. Too bad they wouldn't come out with it. Maybe they will sometime, wired. A moped style looking like this, or a scrambler style. So hey, Wired, if you're listening, make one of these. That'd be cool. That's going to do it for this video. I will leave a link in the description for Wired website, and I'll also leave a link for if you want to go and check out Citizen Cycle's video that he put up on the Wired Warrior. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to comment on this video or any others, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Let me know if you are thinking about getting one of those Wired Warrior. All right, once again, thank you for joining me on this video. And until next time, be safe, everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.